Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Midland Health Podcast, healthcare that makes you proud. I want to remind everybody to please subscribe to our channel. We're looking for subscribers to make sure we've got engagement so that we can keep doing these podcasts into 2027. If you have comments, if there's topics you want us to cover, if there's guests you'd like to see us have on the podcast, drop those in the comments. We're paying attention to those, and we'll work to get those worked in before the end of the year. Really excited about our podcast today. We have two really important people to Midland Health. Probably not people that you would think of, but I can tell you firsthand, they're really important to our success. We have Dr. Sandra Woodley, who's the president of the University of Texas of the Permian Basin, and we have Dr. Damon Kennedy, who is the president of Midland College. As you might know after you hear that, these people are critical to providing workforce to not just healthcare, but all industries across the Permian Basin. They are the lifeblood that makes education happen for our students that here. It's really hard, I've said many times, to recruit nurses to relocate from Dallas or San Antonio or Austin. We have to grow our own, and that starts in the Midland Independent School District, and then it advances to both of their educational facilities. So they're really important to our success. I'm really happy that they came on today to talk about workforce. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves a little bit about their history and how they landed in West Texas. Dr. Woodley, we'll start with you. Thanks for
Hey,
joining us today.
so happy to be here. Yes, well, I've been in higher education for about 30 years. It's gone by really
Started
fast.
young.
Yeah, no, actually, no. But, I've spent most of my career has been in a system office. I've been in 5 university and community college systems throughout my career. And this is my first opportunity to be at a university, boots on the ground with the students. And I can tell you, I'm loving every minute of it. So 30 years in, 9 years, I've been the president here at UTPB and having a great time.
Good, good. Well, we're glad you're here. Dr. Kennedy, tell us a little bit about your path.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity. Mine a little bit more directed, I think. I've spent almost my entire career here at Midland College. I was a former student, proud graduate of UT Permian Basin. I hold 2 degrees from there as well. Wrapped up my 3rd year as president this last year, so going into the fourth. And like Dr. Woodley, several decades into higher ed, and it's been a heck of a lot of fun. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Good, good. Well, thank you again, both of you, for being here today. I think I can't say it enough just how important you guys are to our success. So I want to talk a little bit about workforce and how your two institutions play such a vital role into that. I know both of you, both of your universities and community college have multiple programs that are available. But what I wanted to talk about today is focus on health sciences, obviously what's important to Midland Health. Tell us a little bit about your health science departments, what programs you offer in your institutions, and what kind of graduates they produce. And then I can help fill in how those people feed into the workforce and what they do for us and how they might touch patients. Dr. Kennedy, you want to start?
Sure. Well, we have a litany of programs that that start with our dual credit students. Really proud of the work that we do with MISD and our other service area partners to train health sciences foundations students in CNA, EKG tech, phlebotomy, and other areas. We use those as the feeder. You mentioned a minute ago that we know in our area that we have to grow our own, and so we think it's really important to grab students as early as we possibly can. And we've had a lot of success in health sciences dual credit. From there, high school graduates have an opportunity to go into our associate degree nursing program. That's a program that is, I know, tremendously important to you all. And you and I've had this conversation in the past. There was a period of time during COVID when we had some pretty significant staff shortages where our programs wouldn't exist but for the partnership that we have with Midland Health and the personnel that you were provided to us there. So we also have licensed vocational nursing programs, sonography, respiratory care. We just launched a new behavioral health program.
Hmm.
Really, really proud of that work. And the three of us in this room are all, collaborating with
We
one
are.
another through that process. Really excited by the opportunities that the speaker provided us. Tom Craddock provided us with some state dollars to launch some programming. And so we have a wide array of health sciences programs. And of course, as you've already mentioned, the whole focus there is to train the workforce and keep them local.
Yeah, I had 3 phlebotomists in orientation this morning. I kick off our new employee orientation every Monday morning. 2 of them, one had transferred from another location, but 2 of them were recent graduates from the phlebotomy program,
Yeah.
and so they were from Midland. I always ask, "Where are you from?" I'm curious, and most people are Midland, Odessa, Big Spring, and then every now and then you get, "I'm from Dallas." I'm like, "How did you end up here?" "Well, my spouse got a job in the oil field." It's always the story.
Yeah.
It's how they end up here.
Yeah.
But the nursing program obviously is really critical. Most of our nurses come from Midland College, but also really proud of the radiology tech program, which
Yeah.
we work together to
Yes.
restart. And we've been I think we just graduated our second class of rad techs, and we're hiring almost 80% of those graduates into our
Yeah.
organization, and there's a big need there for that. So, Dr. Woodley, tell us a little different organization, institution. Tell us a little bit about the programs that you have at UTPB.
Well, on the undergraduate side, our largest health science programs are nursing, pre-med, which is mainly biology and psychology. And then on the graduate side, we have counseling programs, which we've had some recent investments from PSP and Scarborough Foundation and in nursing and also in the health sciences. And so really looking at those programs where the students are needed in our workforce here. Now, nursing, we have a little less than 200 students in our nursing program, and we're grateful that the last 4 cohorts, 100% NCLEX rate, which is, we came a long way, baby.
Had a little issue
Had
there
a
for a
little
while,
bit
but
of
you guys have
those.
turned a corner.
We have turned the corner, and what important programs those are, of course. But I think the other thing I would say is we're in the process of really looking at all of our degree programs. We have about 85 degree programs, and we're likely to close some, reconfigure others to make room for new programs that we need in our community. Like nobody really has occupational health,
Yep.
and not enough physical therapy, speech therapy, baccalaureate lab tech training. So we don't know exactly which new programs will start, but right now we have about 1,500 students in our health science programs, and really making sure that we focus those programs as closely as we can on the demand that's needed here in the Permian Basin. And of course, probably like at Midland College, most of our students come from within 150 miles. Most of them stay here and work afterwards.
They do. Yeah, that's the important part. I think it's always good to look at the programs and right size them to today's needs. We do that when we're evaluating service lines. Something we may have done for a very long time might not make sense for us to
Yeah.
provide anymore, and other things that we're not doing, maybe there's enough demand there that we need to try to fill that need. So I think it's always
Well, and social work is another one of those of our
we have a
graduate
lot of social
programs.
workers in the hospital.
Well, and that's a really important program. And thankfully, we got, external investments in those programs. We've got about close to 400 students in the pipeline in our 3 master's degrees that will serve the Behavioral Health Center and other needs. That's psychology counselors, education counselors, and social work
Yeah,
counselors.
I'm glad you mentioned PBHC specifically. Dr. Kennedy mentioned behavioral health and counseling. The Permian Basin Behavioral Health Center. Today's Monday, July 27th. We've been open since June 1st. And so
Yeah.
staffing that was always a lot of people's question when we got the money to get that rolling. People were really excited about it, but they were like, how are you going to staff that? You barely can staff the hospital. And because of the foresight of some really important people in our community, Russell Myers, Tom Craddock, Scarborough Foundation, all these guys that constantly step up to fill voids that we have,
PSP.
we had a lot of investments early on to make sure that we had workforce investments 2-3 years ago, so that when this place opened this summer, we had staff ready to go, and we're in a really good position with staffing now, with future classes to come and cohorts to graduate. We should be able to staff that thing without any problem. So good. All right. So it clearly it takes all of us. It takes a village to really prepare a student for once they enter the workforce, once they leave your institution and they enter the workforce. What are some of the collaborations and programs that you offer to students, so when they graduate, they can find a job, they know how to connect with people like Midland Health to make that transition from an educational kind of journey into the workforce? Dr. Woodley, going to
We
start?
work really hard on career services and really connecting all of our employers to our students as early as we can. We love internships and opportunities for our students to get some work experience way before they graduate And almost always they get snapped up right away, whether it's engineering or, health sciences or whatever it is. And so really investing in making sure that employers know our students and that our students know the employers and getting them connected earlier. We've spent a lot of time and money really promoting that at the university and with really great success, I think.
I feel like in our area that it's a good question to go over for people to hear, but it's not hard to connect prepared students that are ready to enter the
Right.
workforce. It's not hard to find a job in Midland,
It's
Texas,
not hard.
if you're ready to go. There are people that are hungry for you. But still, as a student, knowing how to find those locations, they're out there and available. Making sure that you have resources available to connect those people once they're ready to transfer to the workforce, I think is really important. Dr. Kennedy, anything you wanted to hit on?
Yeah, you mentioned the huge effort that led to the opening of the behavioral health hospital, and one of the things that I'm particularly proud of is the alignment that represents. I can tell you, having been in an administrative role at the college for a little over a decade now, the kind of alignment that we see today is impressive, and it hasn't always been the case. And so when you use the phrase "it takes a village," it absolutely does. And one of the things that we're proud that we're doing today is a program we call our College and Career Connections, or C3, and we're beginning to have these conversations with dual credit students about what it looks like to enter into a health sciences program at Midland College and then go to work or transfer to UT Permian Basin, what the opportunities are at Midland Health at the hospital, beyond the clinical opportunities there. Really proud of the support that the hospital gives our students and the doors that it does open to all of our students. Again, we can't go at it alone. We can do some of the work in our simulation settings, but it's really best for our students to be in a facility working with real patients. I'll share that, fortunately, unfortunately, whatever the case, I had an
Hmm.
opportunity to be in the emergency room with my wife a couple months
Oh
ago,
no.
and yeah, it wasn't a fun experience, but simply being there.
No.
But it was a great experience for me to kind of see some of our students in action and the interactions that I had with Midland College students, and they had no idea I was a president. They had
Yeah.
no idea who my wife was. But it was really remarkable to see them hard at work and kind of practicing the trade. This is where they're going to land, and this is the work that they're going to do. So pretty exciting.
Yeah, good stuff. I know we've restarted our Medical Explorers program. It's been a few years ago. We had 65 kids this summer
Yeah.
That's
in
great.
MISD or Greenwood that are coming in on a Sunday and spending 2 hours with members of our team. They get to go to the OR and they get to drive the robot. They go to the pharmacy and they work on how to fill scripts. They get
Yeah.
to go to nursing floors. And so the success we've seen with that program of kids that are getting exposed and making a plan early, all of them want to be anesthesiologists.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned. When they get there and they're sophomores, they're like, I want to be a surgeon or an anesthesiologist. I'm like, that's great. We'll help you get there and we want you to come back and
Yeah.
work for us. And if you don't make it there and you go to nursing school or you go to rad tech school or whatever it is, there's a spot for you here too. But we've seen a tremendous amount of success. I mean, that's your next students are kids that have been going through that medical explorers and they've been exposed to things. And it's amazing that I didn't have any idea what I wanted to do when I was 15. These kids already have a plan. And I think that shows the message that we're getting out there is landing on even younger ears
Yeah.
than we've like. There's an opportunity for me. I tell my kids all the time, if you'll just work hard, you're miles ahead of everybody else
Yeah.
because everybody else is looking. I feel like the straightest path forward. What's the path of least resistance? But I see the same thing in these medical explorers. These kids have a plan. They want to know, how do I go to Midland College? How much of my college will you pay for? How long do I have to come back to work for Midland Health after I complete? These guys are prepared and making a plan, and that gives me a lot of good feelings that I know we've got a planned workforce and pipeline that's going to fill us.
Well, and that's actually one of the key focus areas for our C3 project, is we talk with kids and families early and often about on ramps and off ramps, and we talk to them early and often about how you pay for college. Um, because if you don't, you're going to inadvertently get a parent somewhere along the way saying, "Ooh, I just don't know if we can really afford that," and you sure don't want to
Yeah.
squash a dream of a sixth,
No.
seventh, eighth grader. But yeah, it's always uplifting to me to see the serious students. It's always uplifting to me to see them hard at work.
Yeah, they've got a plan. I know you've got your Falcon Free program. You have a similar program. The hospitals we've long provided scholarships to employees. Like if you're an employee for us, you can get scholarship money to advance your education. We've started where if you'll commit to work for us when you graduate, we'll pay for your, even if you're not an employee yet, we'll send you to nursing school.
Yeah.
You have to come back and work for us. And we've seen some success with that as well, and very low turnover rate. Usually once they sign and commit, they come back and work for us for the full duration. So those kind of creative solutions to make sure like you said, we don't want anybody who is capable and of going to college and finding a career that would fill our needs or anybody else's, but just thinks it's not an option for
Yeah.
them. That in today's world, and certainly in Midland, Texas, there's no excuse for you not to be able to go to college. If you're
Yeah.
capable and can do the work, somebody will step up and fill that for you. So don't give up if that's a plan for you. We were in a meeting, Dr. Woodley. I don't know if you remember, is a couple of years ago. I think we were at ConocoPhillips, and there's a room full of community people like you and I, and there was a number of oil field executives that were there, and it was just a community collaboration discussion, a couple of hours. But I think you asked the question of, what kind of workforce are you looking for? This was a question to one of the oil field executives, and in summary, what I heard him say was, we can bring the engineers. What we really need you to bring more of is nurses, doctors, teachers, police officers, firemen. We need infrastructure is what we need. So we're spending a lot of time today talking about education for health sciences, but there's a number of things that you guys do that really feed the infrastructure and feed us. I don't want people to watch this and think, oh, this is a great path if you want to be a nurse or a rad tech. We hire more IT people than I bet anybody else in the city of Midland. We have our own police department. There's a number of opportunities, administrative or clinical, if you want it. Tell us a little bit about the things that you do in your organizations outside of health sciences that kind of feed the infrastructure, that feed the system that is Midland, so all this other really important work can happen around us.
Well, I would say, I think about Permian Strategic Partnership. I mean, they've been around for 8 years, 7 or 8
Yeah,
years. And as you know, they focused on what you just said, infrastructure. They want to have good schools, good K-12 schools, so that their workers will want to come and stay and live here and work. They want good health care. We've talked about that today. They want safe roads. Those are the things that they've invested in. So for us, part of what we need to do, we've worked really hard on, is that K-12 education. Really making sure that we can do our part to ensure that students get a good education here, and that then they're ready when they want to leave K-12 and go either to the community college or to the university. So we work really hard on that. And in fact, we have some new plans to revamp our K-12 programs in the coming year with our initiative to revamp our programs. I think that's one of the areas. But you're right. I mean, you think about technology, the changes in technology and AI, all of the industries that can benefit from these amazing new steps. and
yeah.
and I, I only know just enough to be dangerous about that, but we started new programs and micro credentials and AI, and really working hard to incorporate those skills throughout all of our programs. I think that that will be really important for us in that infrastructure side that you were
Yeah,
talking
the
about.
opportunities are really endless, and
Yeah,
they continue to grow
everybody
every
needs
day.
it.
They do, they do. I've dabbled with AI a little bit. I would not say I'm credentialed in any way, shape, or form, but it is a powerful tool if used
Sure.
incorrectly. It can be a force multiplier. I was meeting with our nursing staff. We're actually doing a little AI lead event in a couple of weeks. That this is not going to replace nursing staff. This is going to make one nurse equate to 1.15 nurses. Right? You're going to be able to do more work because you have some of these tools available that are going to make your time more efficient. And that's the way I look at it. We don't have enough people. I can't imagine ever getting to a point where we can replace people, but I want to make people more efficient and make it a force multiplier.
Well,
So,
and also just quickly, you remember when Excel came out,
oh yeah,
and they thought, "Oh, it's going to replace accountants."
yeah,
No, it sure did
it
not.
made more accountants is what it did.
It made, your ability to use that critical thinking in many other ways, while the Excel spreadsheet does the grunt work for you. And I think
Exactly.
that's a little bit like AI can do. There's so many things that it can pull together with whatever the vocation that allows those of us who are in the workforce to, put their mind to much higher tasks.
Yeah, Excel is a really good example. I've told our team AI has been around for a long,
Sure
long time.
has.
It's become a buzzword in the last year, but we've used AI in healthcare for a
Mhm.
long time. It's certainly getting more powerful. You're getting to this agentic AI, different versions of AI that's more powerful than what we've had in the past, but it's not new and it's never replaced anybody's job that I'm aware of, but it certainly makes them more efficient and allows them to get more work done.
Well, and we're adopting a agentic platform as we speak, with the end goal is to create the efficiencies that you described, but also additional time for higher quality human interactions. And I can only imagine how beneficial that could be to healthcare. Um,
If you can get AI to do some of those back end
Right.
tasks so
absolutely,
nurses can spend more time at the bedside with their patients, I
absolutely,
think nurses are happier and I think patients are happier. That's a good example.
yeah, absolutely. Um, to the question though, I would add one thing that we do, and I think we do really well, and of course with a great deal of support from PSP, Scarborough Foundation, many others, is healthcare. I'm sorry, childcare.
I was gonna say
Childcare.
we can stay on
Yeah,
healthcare
no,
if you
I'm
want.
sorry.
That's really important to me.
I look at you right in the face and I go straight to healthcare, but no, childcare.
Childcare is important too.
Yeah, so we've long run one of the premier facilities in the community at Great Health Children's Center, which is on our main campus, and then we have a smaller location at Manor Park. But then in 2018, we launched our pre-K academy at the college, and so we serve right now 303 and 4 year olds. And of course, you can't go to work unless you have a place to drop the kiddos.
Yeah.
And again, we're really excited by our programming there. This is high quality instruction. This is enrichment opportunities for kids, and really significant to our community.
Feels like we're on a constant journey toward a childcare center at the hospital because a lot of nurses, we have longer hours. They typically work 12-hour shifts, 7 to 7, and there's this continuous push of can we get childcare? Can we have sick childcare? Can we have extended hours? And can we have it on the campus? We're not quite there yet, but I bet in the next 5 years we'll have a childcare center on our campus to take care of staff's children. But it's a big need. It's not unique to healthcare. It's really across the board. So I'm glad you do that. I've heard a lot of positive things about your program and glad we have it here. So I think I told both of you that I'd give you the chance to have a brag session. So I think our students in high school here are really lucky that they have the post high school education options locally that we have with Midland College, UTPB, Texas Tech has presence here. Odessa College is obviously around. We have uh, what's the one in Big Spring? I just lost the name, but Howard College. So there are some local Permian Basin options. But you two got to be on the show today. What are some accolades that your organizations have received recently that you want people to know about?
Well, we have one of the best engineering programs in the state, and we should, right here in the heart of
It
the
makes
Permian
sense.
Basin,
Yes.
right? And our students graduate and they have very high salaries. Thank you to Permian Basin, and they do very well here. But also, our business programs are excellent. I mean, we're AACSB accredited, which is the highest level of accreditation. There's such a great demand for accountants and finance majors here, and so we're really working hard to make sure those do well. We're excited about UTPB football. So, if you want to come
Okay.
and see a football game,
All right.
we
It's
made
been
it
a while since I've
very
been to one.
far. Where all of our games are in Midland this year at the Astound Stadium. So I've got a spot for you in my
Okay. All right.
suite.
All
So
right.
you come and watch those Falcons play. It's just, amazing to watch UTPB's campus grow over the past 9 years and to really, change a little bit from mostly a commuter campus, which we're really proud of our adult students. We still have a big demand for
Mhm.
non-traditional students who go through, but our largest growth has been in first-time freshmen. So they're coming in and they want the full experience. They want to be able to, be involved in NCAA athletics, and they want to cheer on, cheer and
You want the
dance
whole experience.
and music and band. All of
Yeah.
those things are really important to us. And to have University of Texas system level academic programs that are generating these amazing graduates who stay in our community and who have great careers here.
Yeah. I came back to Midland in 99, August of 99, and UTPB is a dramatically different campus, environment, an institution than it was when I got here. And even when I was in high school, UTPB was here. but it's a totally different place. People, like you said, there was this non-traditional student that was really what I felt like it was built for. But you've invested so much in the experience that you don't have to leave Midland or Odessa to get that kind of college life experience. It's available right here, right now with UTPB.
Yeah,
So,
we're proud of it.
all right, let's find one of those football
Let's
games
do it.
when Tech is not in Lubbock,
Okay.
and I will come up to your suite and watch a game. It's been a while since I've seen a UTPB
We'll,
game.
we'll have to come out early too to the tailgate because
Okay.
That's even better.
All
That's,
right.
that's a lot.
Yeah,
of
I'm
fun.
convinced. Twist my arm.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell us about some of your accolades. We can start with the baseball team, which is near and dear to my heart. I know a lot of those kids.
Yeah.
What a great run they had.
Man, we had a great year in athletics this year. So we have six programs. 5 went to the postseason and 3 made it to the national tournament. So our men's golf team is sort of perpetual
Yeah.
national tournament contender. But our men's basketball program made the national tournament, and then our baseball team had one heck of a run all the way to 3rd place at the JUCO World Series, College World Series. I actually went over to Grand Junction and got to see all those games, and I got to know a lot of those kids and their families, and it was a heck of a lot of fun. So yeah,
The cool
our
thing about the baseball run, being my son played baseball, so we paid it, is they were led by a bunch of Midland boys.
Yeah,
Like,
they were.
there were a number of those kids that were leading that team that were from Midland.
Well, and
That's a
we
great
were
story.
we were slated. This is the good that, or this is the bad, I guess, that comes with the good. We were slated to have 4 of the top JUCO returning freshmen. And then we had such a great run in Grand Junction. There was so much more visibility. We had a couple of those kids end up going to UTSA. A couple of them go or headed to
TCU, right?
TCU.
Yeah.
A couple of those guys that were highly touted that are going to get
That's
an opportunity to play some high quality Division One. UTSA is an up and coming
Yeah.
program.
Yeah. They were in the College World Series this
Yeah,
year, I think. They didn't make it to the World Series. I guess they were in the regionals though.
Yeah, they spent a number of weeks, ranked in the top 20, and so that's a top 25. So that's an accomplishment for them.
Well, with success comes that kind of loss, but it's a great selling point to future
It
freshmen. Hey, if you
it
want to go to
is.
the next phase, come here and you can get your start.
And Sandy mentioned this. It really is important for our students to have something other than drop in, take some classes, go to work, or go home. Because if we really do intend to grow our own in our organizations, we have to have that hook to get them in the door and to keep them here. Um, I would say, we launched a Mariachi program. We're really excited by that. I had the opportunity to be a number of UTPB events, and the performances there, the kind of emphasis on the arts. We continue to do our Cowan Performing Arts Series and Davidson Distinguished Lecture Series. Often people talk about community colleges building workforce. Well, we do that, and we do it really well, but it's also about being an asset to the community, a larger asset to the community. So we're really proud of those things. Um, I, like UTPB, we had 100% pass rate on the NCLEX. So really proud of the work that we're doing again, and that happens in collaboration with your folks. All of our teams are often on the same floor at the same time doing the same work, and so that's a result of that high level collaboration. I would point to a couple of newsworthy events that you've seen of late, and that is we just secured $20 million from Scarborough Foundation to go toward the construction of new applied technology facilities. We have a couple of other significant gifts in the works. I don't know when this podcast will come out, but we just got 4.75 from the Abel Hanger Foundation. We're going to be announcing on Wednesday $1 million gift from Diamondback.
Wow.
And this is just the beginning. We're headed toward a $77 million construction project, new facilities. And what that's going to enable us to do over at the Advanced Technology Center is to convert the whole of the building to expanded health sciences offerings. And so it's not an either or for us, it's a focus on the whole. And so we're well down the road of being able to bring new and more students into our campus.
Yeah.
We set an enrollment record of 7,300 this last fall, and we're outpacing it point in time this fall. And so people are really beginning to see the value in Midland College and in UT Permian Basin.
There's no doubt. I think we're that the examples you gave of your gifts recently, I think we've all had our experiences with those, and people that have our roles and other communities don't get that kind of support. It's pretty rare
Absolutely not.
to have people write those kind of checks and say, "What do you need?" So that eliminates excuses for us for a
Yeah.
lot of things, right?
It adds a little pressure, which
I can't.
we're working on that.
I
We
tell
we
my
we
team all
gotta
the time,
outperform.
to whom much is given, much is
You gotta
expected.
get it
So
going.
they don't give us those checks so they can turn around and go home and do their, like, they're going to pay attention, and they're going to expect us to deliver some kind of a return on that investment. It's not a dividend payment like most investors make, but
Yeah.
they want to see us be able to graduate more students. They want us to see us treat more patients locally, whatever it may be. They do expect a return on that investment. So we're blessed to live in that kind of environment. And I'd much rather be in that environment than somewhere where I couldn't get any support. But to whom much is given, much is expected. They are certainly demanding that those dollars are used wisely, as they should be. And I think that kind of collaboration that we have, we're just blessed to be in that kind of environment. All right, so I think we're wrapping up here. I've got just a couple of more questions for each of you. First, talk about our region and the growing population and all the activity we have in the Permian Basin. I want some predictions about what we see in this continued growth in our future that we have. And then also specifically, what are you doing in your institutions to plan for that growth and to plan to educate more? Y'all both have hit on this a little bit naturally throughout our discussion, but want to give that kind of that topic to you on the floor so you can tell us what you're doing to prepare for growth. And I'll chime in with a little bit of things we're doing to deal with our growth as well.
So at UTPB, as I alluded to earlier, we're about to revamp all of our academic programs. We know that there are programs that are not in the Permian Basin that we need to start. And we know that some of our programs, are not as relevant as they were 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So, really looking for the responsiveness, the relevance, and the efficiency of our programs, there'll be big changes that we'll be announcing before the end of this academic year. So, we're excited about that and a little nervous, right? It's hard to
Sure,
make big changes,
sure.
but we're excited about that. I think the other thing that I like to talk about is the work that we are all collectively doing for quality of life. We talked about football and sports,
Sure.
but we just received a grant to start our section of the Wildcatters Trail. So we'll have 4 or 5 miles of lit trails on our campus, and we're planning to be a part of that trail that will go all the way to the Scarborough Sports Complex. So 20 miles eventually worth of really great trails, and then of course we are out there at the Beacon.
Mhm.
We have 68 acres there. We're hoping in the near future to expand the Wagner Noel Performing Arts Center into an outdoor amphitheater out there as part of an entertainment
That'll be
district.
nice.
And then there's a 80 acre Central Park that is already funded, thanks to Speaker Craddock and Don Evans and others who got that through the last legislative session. And that will go all the way from Energy Lake, right by our engineering building, all the way down past the Behavioral Health Center. And I think those things are important for workforce too, right?
It is.
People have to have a place to, safely play with their family and picnic and go on a run or on a bike ride safely. And we're excited about being a part of that.
Yeah, I think the quality of place comment that was a word we've used, or a phrase that we've used a lot around here recently, is improving quality of life, and that will help attract talent here. But I don't think it's any different than us trying to attract talent, or trying to convince students that they can stay local. Is that quality of life, things to do, reasons to stay in the area for education, for work, whatever it may be. We're no different than all the other industry
Or
there
to go
is.
to a concert or
Yeah, it's great.
exactly.
We got the Wagner Noel. You didn't even mention that.
Well,
That's
we're expanding the Wagner Noel.
yeah.
So yeah, 1,800 seats in the Wagner Noel is a beautiful performing arts center, funded, almost equally between the two cities. So
Mhm.
it's one of the first projects between Midland and Odessa, and I love those
Yeah,
where we can connect the two cities. But we need an outdoor space. My kids are 30s and 40s, and they're not interested in listening to the symphony in an eight. Even in a great performing arts center, they want to be outside at a Riley Green concert. I think we just
sure.
set a record. By the way, he's my cousin.
Riley
We'll
Green.
talk later.
I
My
I
maiden name is Green. We
I
grew up in the same
I
town.
must not have got the invite to your suite for that
I
concert.
didn't have a suite. You know why I didn't have a suite? Because they had it in the parking lot. There is no
Did they do it at
venue.
the Horseshoe, right?
Yes, but in the parking
Right.
lot because there's no venue big enough.
To hold.
There wasn't enough parking. And so it was a great, I think, accomplishment, but it really did point out the need for another kind of venue and event center that we can really have those big acts that come in, and our young, adults and young professionals will want to come and be a part of that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think those events like that point out just how close we are, but
Right.
also how far we have to go. Like
Right.
that, there's a demand for that. If you build it, then they will come.
I
We'll
think
be able
so.
to convince people to stick around here even more. Dr. Kennedy,
Well, I don't know that I have many predictions,
come on,
but
make a couple.
I'll tell
I
you
want you
that
on record.
I I th- I think that, well, in the sphere of influence that I have, or in the realm of control that I have, I'll tell you that Midland College is going to continue to work to be the premier partner. We're going to continue to prioritize the outcomes of UT Permian Basin and Midland Health, knowing that if we do our small part, it will go a long way in making this a more attractive place to be. We've talked a lot about quality of place. Uh, you mentioned the youth in our community. We're a very young community, and those 30 somethings with the young families, they want the stability, and not to say we don't have it now, but largely transient workforce in oil and gas. We're going to continue to work to do what we can to stabilize that in our community by training technicians, by giving opportunities to dual credit students to clear prereq so they can go into an engineering program. Um, again, don't know that I have a prediction, but I can tell you with certainty that we're going to continue to work our tails off to make this a better place to be. And we're going to continue to do it in collaboration with each of you.
Good. I like to hear that. The need is certainly there. I know specifically for Midland Health, we are in the back end of about a 3-year project to build our new office building, which opened up just a couple of months ago, and we're in the last phase now where we're going to take down about 240,000 square feet of our south tower, our old original part of the hospital, with the plans that we can come back and expand, add additional towers in the future. And when we approved this project, right around the time I became CEO, I thought maybe 2030, 2032, we'll be ready for that next expansion. Well, all of our data says we're ready for it now. We've turned away about 80% of the transfer requests that come in from the surrounding region. They call and say, we have a patient we can't take care of here. We need to transfer them to Midland. We tell them we can't take them because we don't have enough beds. We see that we are the largest healthcare provider in the Permian Basin. We provide about 34% of all healthcare recipients that start with a zip code in the Permian Basin come to Midland Health for care. Right behind us is Medical Center Hospital in Odessa. So the needs for growth are becoming much more obvious, even faster than we expected. So it's not only that our community is growing and getting younger and needing access to different services than they did 20 or 30 years ago, but the growth and the activity in the rural communities around us, where their hospitals are level 4 trauma centers, they don't do surgeries, they don't deliver babies, whatever it is. Their need for to access care at Midland Health is growing really fast as well. We just completed a 10-year market assessment, and they're projecting about 145 additional bed need for Midland Health in 10 years. We're going to need additional operating rooms, additional imaging, about 75 additional providers. Obviously, with that's going to come additional nursing staff, rad techs, pharmacists, pharmacy techs. So we've got a planning committee meeting with our board scheduled here in just a few weeks to talk about what is the next step, what does that look like, what's the timeline for it, what's the budget for it, because we think the need is there now. There are people that are leaving the Permian Basin for healthcare uh, because we don't have the capacity to provide it. We have the skills, we just don't have the capacity. We don't have the beds. We don't have the workforce. So that's going to make it really important that you guys continue to do what you're going to do, keep that pipeline full, and keep producing graduates that are ready to go to work for Midland Health and take care of patients that need healthcare really close to home right here in Midland. All right. That wraps up our podcast today. We went pretty quick, but I think it was really rich discussion. I know how busy you guys are. I know it took us a while to get this scheduled, but really appreciate you coming on and sharing your stories and kind of what you're doing in your facilities and organizations to feed the workforce that's not just healthcare, but across the Permian Basin. Yeah, you're really important partners to us, and I appreciate the relationship that we have with both of your institutions. I don't think we could do the work that we do without you and won't be able to do in the future if you're not don't have continued success. Our success is your success. Your success is our success. We're all tied together in this. So I appreciate you making time to come on and tell your stories. I think it'll be really good for the listeners to hear that we're working together on this. We may not have it all solved, but we're continuing to work to solve these problems so that we can take care of all the issues that we have right here at home. I want to remind everybody to please go subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment, leave a like. Let us know that you're engaged and you're getting something out of this. If there's a topic or a guest you want us to bring on, drop that in the comments. We'll see that and we'll work that into our schedule before the end of the year. But that wraps up our 7th episode of the podcast, Midland Health Podcast, Healthcare That Makes You Proud. Thanks for joining us today.